not much content on G.
They're spawning here!
Your wounds, I can fix them.
They just spawned here, didn't they?
First aid.
Yeah.
Fix the spawns, dice!
What the fuck?
Hey guys, my name is X Factor and I hope you're having a great day. You probably already figured out the topic of this video, something that's long overdue, but I really thought DICE was going to circle back around and basically tidy this mess up when it comes to Battlefield 1 Conquest spawn systems. The current system in Battlefield 1 is broken, overly simplified, or simply not well thought out to previous titles. We're going to show you what they did in the previous titles and why it was far superior. Now, there are some main problems to the spawn system in Battlefield 1. They are insanely predictable. They are one-sided spawns, oftentimes only having 2 or 3 hard spawns, and of course, no spawn blocking, which we'll cover what that is, and no real set rules. Some flags, when you're defending them, you spawn actually on the flag burn. Others, you spawn close or 70 meters away. Again, only a few hard spawns. So this is another hard spawn that you saw from the intro, where it's just to the left of my French tank. Now, the only good news is they have a spawn invulnerability where they're taking reduced damage. Even a tank shell to the face won't drop them. You need to see them wiggle around and run around for a couple seconds before they take the full damage. But there are major problems here. Not just knowing the hard spawn points, some flags have as little as 2 to 3 hard points, but it messes up the flow of the game. Let's say we cap D, and this is our gimme side of the map. That means our deployment's behind E. Our team spawns on this side of D. If they own E, which they do right now, they're defending, they spawn this side of E. So if the situation is right for both teams, you are spawning within 10 to 30 meters of each other because, again, there's a limitation to how many hard spawns there are in Battlefield 1, and you see this all the time. As you're running from flag to flag, you just run into a clump of bad guys because that's their hard spawn. And it happens all the time in Conquest, no matter what map. And here are a couple examples on Amiens showcasing something we used to do back in the competitive days where we were required to know every single spawn point of every Conquest map that we competed in. And we had a system. Spawn in, drop a mine, suicide. Drop another one if there wasn't one on the ground, and keep spawning in, dropping mines until you have people spawning in the same spots and no more naked ground. And here's the example. Now, mind you, there are no private servers, so people are getting killed and are suiciding to find these spots. So I do apologize for the sloppiness. But anytime you see a blue explosive, for all intents and purposes, as long as nobody messed up, that is a spawn point. Now, you're going to notice 2 main sectors. One that is on the flag cap or flag burn radius, and one that's always towards your uncap or deployment side. Now here's the question that I don't have the answer to. If the flag is contested, if there are more enemies than there are friendlies, and your flag is burning towards neutral, does that kick you to the back spot? That I don't know. So if it does, we have 4 hard spawns. But no matter if we're referring to those 4 hard spawns near our uncap or all of them, they're always on our side of the map and towards our uncap or deployment. Doesn't matter what flag or what map we're talking about. So here's another example in Amiens. Can you guess which side our uncap or deployment is? Yep, you got it. The side with all the blue spawns. Now there's 5 or 6 hard spawns on C point, a little bit better. There's one near the bridge on the actual capture flag radius. There's one in the 2-story C building where the minigun is. There's one in the C lower level. And of course, you see a couple, which might be a mistake, down the train line. Then, of course, the A tunnel, which I'm running at right now. Again, highly predictable, our side of the map. Now, here's the problem that happens in Battlefield in Conquest. What if they're spawning on and defending A? You got it. It's their side of the map, their side of deployment in a highly predictable fashion. On a road, on the other side of the A hallway, right in front of us. So what if we're running through? That means they're flying in, spawn invulnerable, soaking up bullets, and they're not too happy themselves because you always spawn on your side of the map in Battlefield 1. So how did previous Battlefield titles handle it? Well, in Battlefield 3, it was the polar opposite. And these are some screenshots from videos I used to do when I broke down conquest-sized small maps, including LAV and armor placements, burn radiuses in red, and spawn spots in pink. It was not dependent on what side your deployment or their deployment was, who was defending the flag, whether it was your team or their team. It was the same spawns and actually had spawn blocking. You notice they're all around the flag instead of the predictable deployment side or very linear. Now, what is spawn blocking? See that dot in the middle above the C flag? That's construction, one of the levels. If I was standing there and we had guys starting to burn the C cap, but it wasn't burned all the way through, that means they could still spawn here. They're defending. But because I was in C construction overlooking my teammates burning the flag, no one would spawn in my head. Same thing with the C building to the right over by that wall. If I was sitting there, no one would spawn in my head. You could do this in multiple spots, and you wouldn't get spawned on. It would only get funky if every single spot was taken up, but that means your whole team's there. They got nowhere to go, and that was understandable. Now, this is one of the craziest maps in Battlefield 3. It was a cluster, 64-man, but the bigger maps were much more spread out, much more varied, as you can kind of see by A. That is a ton of spawn points all the way around the A flag. Much harder to get your head spawned on. And it was nice. If you were burning the flag, you always just simply looked out, scanned multiple directions, or knew the spawns, blocked the one that was the cheesiest to your position, or the one you had to worry about the most with a teammate, and you were covered. It gave the defenders a chance. You didn't have to worry about running through a flag and basically hitting their spawn. Because as you run through from B to A or B to C, those spawns got blocked and they got pushed to the other side. Much less frustrating and a much better system. And one of the main reasons was a very strict rule set that worked very well in Battlefield 3 when it came to the spawn system. You would spawn on the outside of the flag looking in, and depending on what flag or map we're talking about, you would never spawn on the flag radius, let alone 70 meters away. If that flag had roughly a 15 to 20 meter radius for each spawn, they would find spots to put you behind some cover or around a corner 15 to 20 meters away. Sure, there was a spawn or two that was more preferred back in the competitive world, but it was splitting fine hairs. In Battlefield 1, the difference could be, well, you're spawning on the flag in a pile of people, or you're 70 meters away, which is more than likely, if you get that spawn at that moment, the difference of you defending that flag successfully in a timely manner, or them figuring out, oh, hey, they didn't spawn the flag, he's got to be this way, and get mowed down by a bunch of angry enemies. As you see me pick up one of the Easter egg weapons, which is a one-shot cavalry sword, which can be picked up if somebody kills me, but it works best with cavalry because you can soak up quite a bit of damage as you bait them towards you with, thankfully, a pro pilot flaring that out. And I got a little bit too greedy. That guy definitely knew what was up. So what have your experiences been with the Battlefield 1 spawn system? Have you played other Battlefield titles? Would you like to see them rework the Battlefield 1 spawn system, including adhering to a strict set of spawn rules like previous titles in the Battlefield franchise? I played a ton in the Battlefield franchise, including thousands of hours in Battlefield 3 in private servers scrimming and competing. Then, of course, public servers working on my shot, including tons of 64-man Meat Locker-style servers, including Metro, Bazaar, and Sane. And I do not remember being this frustrated, and it happening that often to me. It seems like every single round I play Conquest of Battlefield 1, I'm running into multiple hard spawns because I play the objective. Live, eat, and breathe it. I'm trying to push as fast as possible from one flag to the other or run back and save our flag. But again, take the risk of running into their spawn because if I'm going to save one of my back caps, they're going to be spawning on their side of the map, more than likely the path in which I'm running. I've actually altered the way in which I attack and defend flags, taking into note those 2 or 3 or 4 hard spawn spots and always trying to get an angle. So what do you guys think? This is going to be probably a sensitive subject, more than likely ruffling your emotions because this is something that's happened to you. Let me know down below. As always, guys, Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you guys soon.